to give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
The ability to connect with people and form real relationships is often damaged in those of us who were neglected or abused as children. And when you pull away from people and intentionally isolate yourself, and that's common, it's called avoidance. But you might be someone who doesn't intentionally isolate. You might be a covert avoider. For example, you could have a good career, you're friendly, you're interesting, there are people in your life, friends, maybe a partner or spouse, but there are hidden, covert ways that you keep your interactions superficial. You know, you keep one foot out of the relationship without anyone quite realizing it. Sometimes you don't even realize it. But if you've been trying and trying to connect better with people and you don't seem to be getting any traction, it's time to look at whether maybe you're secretly, covertly avoiding people and your own life. Now, I'm going to talk about how we do covert avoidance and how to shift those behaviors if you're ready, if you want to open this up and make this the year you get better at meeting and caring for people in your life. All right, so avoidant behavior is really normal for people who had trauma when they were kids. If that's you, you may have learned to look okay on the outside, being cheerful, appropriate, functioning well, but you're probably also learned to protect your inner state by avoiding any kind of situation that might trigger you, things like rejection or criticism or getting ostracized by a group. So those hurtful things hurt all kinds of people, but for a person with complex PTSD, it can make you feel destroyed. It can trigger a period of dysregulation that makes it really hard to think and focus and function for days. And I talk a lot about dysregulation on this channel. You might want to explore that. But here's the first reason I'm going to give you to start healing your avoidant tendencies now, because even though getting triggered can feel like it destroys you, if you go through life rigidly protecting yourself from the way you feel around people, that destroys you too, and probably in a worse way. Without connection, your development gets frozen. On the outside, you might look confident and accomplished, but inside you're like a sad little kid just walking around. Now, I call the problem covert avoidance because it's not like avoidant personality disorder, which is an extreme kind of anxiety and social avoidance. That's on a level that would be fairly noticeable to other people. But covert avoidance isn't that noticeable. You seem okay, you're interacting with the world, but you're also holding yourself apart from it. So one big sign of covert avoidance is when you're too busy or too tired all the time to do normal things that a person in your position would do, like keeping where you live tidy, or making decent food for yourself and your kids, perhaps, or going to bed on time, or getting up on time. When you're avoiding this level of functioning, it's an inward-directed kind of avoidance. Then there are the
Let's get our sister back in here. Kiona from Sacramento, the voice of reason, hour number 2. But before we get started with Kiona, let me just say this really quickly. I meant to do this in the first hour, but this show just took off like a rocket. This weekend, this is the final week you can sign up for my masterclass. All right, KBLA listeners, get over there. Get over there. Sign up to my masterclass. This weekend is going to be a 2-day class, 2-day course. I've written a full curriculum. Day 1, which is Saturday, the 3rd, all philosophy. Day 2 will be the clinical side, and I have a special guest clinician coming in to curate that part of the discussion with me. The website, the number one, onestream.tv/the relationship ER. KBLA folks, y'all sign up tonight. onestream.tv/the relationship ER. Zoe's first relationship masterclass webinar series in 2 years. You guys don't want to miss it. All right, back to Kiona. Kiona, am I saying
What do you have from me?
Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Cardo, yeah.
Okay, so it took me a minute, but I got it, right?
It took you a few years, but you got it.
Okay. Cool. So
Fiona like Fiona, if you remember.
That's right. That's right. From Shrek. Fiona, Kiona. Gotcha.
All right.
All right.
There's the difference between meaning God's gift and Brown Hills.
Right. So this is my first suggestion. Dr. Shalonda Crawford or Dr. Jashana Johnson. These are 2 sisters who have radio shows here on KBLA that are master clinicians on the clinical side. I'm going to give you the spiritual piece, but they're going to give you that, and they're going to give you some spiritual too, but they can give you the clinical. Now, that clip that we played coming in,
yeah.
Did you hear anything that was remotely familiar to your situation? What was being described?
Some of it.
Yeah.
Some of it with avoidant isolation. But
right.
The other part of it is that I'm not an avoidant isolant. They actively kicked me out of the family so that they could take over the money that was won during a civil suit.
Right.
Anything that I ever did in my life, they got pissed. I can't share anything positive that I've done. I can't do anything right, and anything that I've done wrong is hyper scrutinized. They're hypercritical of it. Mm-hmm. Anything that they've done that I've done is different because I did it, and I was supposed to be the golden child because of my father.
Mm.
I don't really feel. I feel like some of it applies, but others of it doesn't. I do avoid,
mm-hmm.
but I isolate because of the things that they have done to me, not because I'm removing myself from negativity for my own mental health.
So
I should be batshit crazy. I should watch my language.
Yes,
but I
you
should. Be batshit
yes,
crazy
you
right now.
have to watch your language. This is radio. This is not podcast.
Sorry.
So let me just say. Let me just say this.
I should be straight crazy right now. The only thing that has kept me from being crazy with the active things that they've done, and I'm not just pretending like they're doing these things. They're doing these things. I can show you paperwork. And that's where I get caught in the gray area.
Kiona.
I'm not crazy.
Kiona, I'm not saying you're crazy, but you're going to have to share the conversation. When I break in, you got to let me break in. We're on radio. Is that okay? All right?
No, you're right. It's your show.
Okay. No,
I'm asking.
I just want I want us to work together. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So.
That's what I wanted.
Yes, but I also hear some anxious, preoccupied because of this rejection, this abandonment that you've gotten, right? That you've experienced. It's clear that you felt abandoned or feel abandoned, correct?
Yes.
Right. And wherever you see that abandonment wound, or what they call an attachment wound, a lot of times that is associated with the anxious, preoccupied. The other piece that I would have you do, and you seem to be a very transparent person. If I were you, I would go online and look up the most credible attachment style quiz or test that I could find, and I would take that test honestly, because those tests mean absolutely nothing if you don't tell the truth when you're answering those questions, and I would see where I fall in these in the insecure attachment style spectrum. If I'm dismissive avoidant, if I'm fearful avoidant, or if I'm actually anxious preoccupied. I heard a lot of what you were saying in the clip that preceded our discussion here. And I think it's important that you investigate further, because before you can even get to the step that I refuse to even mention at this point, you're going to have to reconcile exactly where you sit here in terms of this attachment style. So that's either anxious preoccupied, which I feel like it might be, but I would love for you to go take the test and then call me tomorrow and be like, yo, it's this or that. Would you do that for me?
I will.
All right. So,
but I'm not really confident that I'm going to figure it out.
No. There's a process. We're going to take it step by step.
The actions, I know people say that a lot of the things that people say, are victimization of the things, in their own mind. But what do you do when the situations really are real, when the people really are attacking you? And it's not just paranoia.
No, I totally get where you are. I'm not here to discredit or disprove any of your testimony tonight. Remember, this is a non-judgmental space. But what I would like for you to do, if this is okay for me to offer this, is focus on what I'm asking. Let's not deal with the whole problem. Let's deal with just this, which is, I want you to take the test. I want you to be 100% honest taking the test. And then I want you to call me tomorrow night, and then we talk about it further. Can we agree to that and take baby steps and move forward?
Absolutely.
All right, Kiona, I will see you tomorrow. Let's get it. Sacramento in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Reverend L, Dallas, Texas. Get in here.
What's going on, Zoe?
What's up, man?
Man, I appreciate you having me on. I want to say first, I don't want to offend anybody in what I'm about to say.
Well, here we go. Usually when you say that, you wind up doing it. So come on.
Nah. Yeah, I'm gonna be mindful. My relationship with people became better once I didn't really believe anymore. I started becoming more of a human and understanding people's feelings and understanding what I like, what I wouldn't want somebody to do to me when I stepped away from the faith, actually. So I'm not saying what works for me works for everybody, but I know I was not the best person when I was into God, into believing, into an ideology of how I should become. So I was my insecurity. I had insecurities to try to do things, insecurities of standards I felt like I needed to be and become. Mm-hmm. But once I had to step out and learn to do stuff differently, that I felt that was best for me, I started to become a better person in a relationship, a better man, a better everything. So I'm the opposite of what that lady was a minute ago. How she said she doesn't connect with people, but she's close to God, and I'm different. I connect with people, and I listen to what people. I actually listen to what people say, and I try to understand where people come from, and I think that's one of my attributes to just being myself and understanding, like, hey, don't put so much on other people. Put it on. Think about it, how you can control it, and then go from there.
Do you have a relationship with God?
I had a relationship with God. I put more of my relationship on myself now.
Ooh, did we describe this? This sounds like dismissive, avoidant attachment to God. We described this earlier. And Reverend L done call. How you a reverend and you don't have a relationship with God? Boy, I'd throw this phone out the door. Man, what in the world? Reverend L, come on now. You got to fix this for me.
mean, I'm being honest with you because I've been listening for a while, but I had to step out on my own faith to be like, okay, is this what you really want to do with your life? Do you want to step out on your faith and become a better person to the people around you and not live a facade and saying, oh, yes, I believe in this and I believe in that, when it didn't reflect on me that way. Mm-hmm. Like the things when I would pray about certain things, especially in relationships, I felt like I was, doing the right things and all this other stuff, but it really wasn't it until I stepped out and started becoming more solid about myself. Like, I wouldn't want this to happen to me. I'll give you an example real quick. I was in the mix of two women, and I was praying about which situation should I go to and which situation should I leave. So I'm not saying this made any difference, but if I prayed for the situation that I wanted, or a situation that I felt like that was correct, and I asked God for some guidance, and I went with the woman that I prayed for, and I got the revelation, oh, this is the lady, and then that situation went sideways, then whose fault is it? It's mine because I made a decision. But if I would have put my faith into my own mind frame, I feel like, things could have been any which way. You never know. So I'm not going to blame that on God. I'm not going to blame it on anybody.
Hold on. Did that actually happen to you?
That actually happened.
That actually happened to me too. Like, verbatim. Listen. Hey, listen. Hey. Hey. Listen. Whoa. Oh. So right now, you feel a little like, I got it, God. Is that what I'm getting from you right now?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. If I make this mistake on my own, I got it.
But
I got it. But
I'm listening, brother. Go ahead. I'm listening.
So when I do talk to people who do believe, and and all that good stuff, I never deter them for believing, because that's what runs them. People need hope. People need that type of feeling. They need that. So that's why I'm.
So can I offer you just an alternative real quick? An alternative perspective. God is not a dogma or an ideology. The foundational reality of all existence supersedes language, supersedes culture, supersedes belief systems, right? These belief systems are merely symbols to try to describe the ever-living source that permeates all things from time immemorial to forever, infinite, right? So to reduce God to a book is dangerous. So when I'm listening to the way you're framing it, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just giving you an alternative perspective. To say I distanced myself from God. Wait a minute. God is not a point out there in the universe, that a three-dimensional location that you can distance yourself from. Right? Like, you are not this separate piece of reality that somehow has no God in it. You, like a drop from the ocean, you could be transported 1,000 miles from the ocean, and if you still exist, you would still be the ocean. You would just be a drop. Do you see? So oftentimes we get the dogma, the belief system, the verses, the surah, the chapter, the ayat. We get all of that stuff mixed up as God. Listen, those are ideas and concepts. So when we talk about the psychological angle, what is your attachment style, sir? And how, right, does that attachment style, if in fact it is maladaptive, if in fact it is an insecure attachment style, how does that affect your relationship with God? When we come forward, we going back to Dallas, Texas. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black. If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got you black.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road? How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness, and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter N73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertari Plessy. Nefertari felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Then we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR, the voice of reason, back in the building. Yes, we got gospel music today. Don't be afraid. It's a heavy conversation that we're having, a heavy topic. You know, an intriguing look at the impact of early childhood attachment styles on relationships with the self and with God. If you have an insecure attachment style, does that insecure attachment style negatively affect your relationship with God? I.e., if you're anxious, preoccupied, do you find yourself chasing God? Do you find yourself worried that God is going to abandon you? Are you constantly seeking reassurance from God? Are you hypersensitive to, is God really real? Is he going to support me? Is there a fear that God might reject you? Are you constantly seeking validation from God? Difficulty letting go? Do you understand? Preoccupied with all these different beliefs. A lot of times, someone with a anxious, preoccupied attachment style will exhibit these behaviors, this kind of frenetic behavior, in their adult relationships. That's anxious, preoccupied. But now the question becomes, do they have the same type of relationship with God? If God doesn't give them what they want, do they feel rejected or abandoned? And then, of course, in the John Bowlby, Mary Ainsworth attachment theory hierarchy, you have something called dismissive avoidant, where there's emotional detachment from God. There's this over-reliance on self. We hear our brother, Reverend L., who's on the phone right now, who has what appears to be a dismissive, avoidant attachment style with God. Self-reliance, fear of vulnerability, minimal dependency, reluctance in seeking comfort from God, stoicism, dismissive language. Dismissive language or thoughts about God and spiritual matters are evident, reflecting an internal dismissiveness turned towards a relational connection with God. I mean, this is my guy, Reverend L, right now. He's described this, a lack of interest. You express a lack of sustained interest in deepening your relationship with God or practicing spiritual beliefs. I keep telling you, the dogma is not the thing. It was the great linguist Alfred Korzybski who once said, the map is not the territory. The GPS in your car does not tell you the condition of the road. It doesn't say there's a pothole here. You understand? The book is a symbol of what God means. And let me tell you, it's easy to get the symbol, but it's difficult to wrap your mind around what the symbol actually symbolizes, brother. Now, get back in here. I need your thoughts. Well, tell me what your attachment style is.
I can go backwards. My previous attachment style was avoidant.
See?
And I felt like, yeah, my previous was. But where I am now, in my present, I feel like I'm more secure.
Okay, stay right there. Stay right there.
Okay.
Don't leave. Don't leave. When we come forward, Lord have mercy, this show is flying. Reverend Ratchet L. gonna give us his final thought.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Vice President Kamala Harris might have one of the cleanest financial portfolios you'll see in a politician. That's according to public financial disclosures. The presidential candidate filed a public financial disclosure report for 2023, revealing she favors passively managed index funds, which essentially means there's no way for her to game the system by trading on inside information. A group of senators is pushing for a bill that would prohibit members of Congress from buying certain investments like individual stocks. A Senate panel will vote this week to approve the bill, but it's unclear whether it will eventually become law. Another large donation is going to help North Carolina's Livingstone College grow into the future. An anonymous donor recently gave the HBCU $10 million, which will help with construction projects. It's the largest single donation for the school. That same donor reportedly gave Livingstone $7 million within the last year. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Dell Technologies Black Friday and July deals are live. Check out incredible savings on select laptops and more, like the XPS 15 powered by Intel Core processors. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals.
Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment, 17.0%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/31/24.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Hey LA,
Today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Phil Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I know somebody who declares he's got it made. He won't admit it, but it's just a masquerade. He's a modern day deceiver with a case of falsehood fever. What a shame. It's a game.
And then there's dear old sister Sarah, ain't she sweet? Oh, yes, she is. She gets the word, next thing you know, it's in the street. By the time it's been repeated, all the truth has been deleted. Oh, what a shame. Another game. It seems like everything we hear is just a tale. But I've got something that will never ever fail. It's called love. Spread love. Oh, instead of spreading lies. Spread love. The truth is no disguise. I've often said love.
Advice. I know you mentioned earlier about how our attachment style can come into effect when it comes to our relationship with God, which makes total sense because the Lord relates to us as father, as a parent. And so, of course, the way our parents in that relationship formed would definitely reflect in our relationship with God. And I know for me, that was something that was really helpful.
Just hold on. Don't frame it up like that. Because if you frame it up like that, you make God look bad. God don't operate like your daddy unless your daddy is invisible. Don't frame it up like that. That's dangerous. And we know what an absentee dad, we know what kind of impact that can have on a kid. So don't frame it. Hold on. Hold that video right there. Reverend L, get in here, man.
Yes, sir.
Boy, they almost fumbled at the 2-yard line. Don't. You know, God is like our father. Hold on. Don't frame it that way. God is an inner knowing. Now, you can become disconnected from that inner knowing, but that disconnection comes as a result of your own actions. Okay, finish your thought, Reverend L.
I really wanted to say about my moral compass. Like I said, my moral compass grew. It grew a lot. So I'm going to take what you said and build on it and explore some more just to make sure that, you know, I don't want to come across as my way is correct to somebody, because we all in this journey to try to figure out what's going to make a better life for us without hurting others. So that's all I wanted to say about it.
Right. And I love it, brother. And I love the fact that you called in and shared your insight. You already know you got a seat at the table. Dallas, Texas in the building. Now, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We're going to Hawaii right now. Mountain View. John, get in here.
Greetings and blessings, chat. Let me be quick and brief. I have a different perspective on what is being spoken of as these attachment styles, as well as the relationship with God. First and foremost, if you read throughout the entire Bible, you find a whole lot of people that were insecure about whatever God had asked them to do.
Keep going, Pastor.
The simple fact that God would place you in whatever position he places you in, there was a purpose behind it anyway. So again, for those of us who are kind of anxious about how God's going to bless us, quit trying to control what God is going to bless you with anyway. Accept it. The simple fact that you're going through trouble is to bring your faith closer to him anyway. That's why you call on his name. For those of us who are being blessed, you know it's not going to last always, and you know who you got to lean on. That's the design of the
You cooking right now. You cooking right now. You're inspiring me. You know that happens, right? So I've got to ask, was Jesus anxious, preoccupied, as evidenced in the Garden of Gethsemane when he said, my God, if it be thy will, let this cup pass from me, not as I will.
Let's go to the actual words and say, why hast thou forsaken me?
Oh, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani is the actual term. Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani. My God, why have thou forsaken me? Which is also taken from the Psalms when David is on the cross and he says the same thing. But that's fine. The question is that anxious, preoccupied? Is that an example of it? Because the anxious, preoccupied attachment style says, I'm being abandoned. Talk to me.
Well, as we find that we have narcissist attachments, we also have those same attachments in the inconsistencies of where we stand or what we believe. So yes, it can also be attached to those things, but let's keep in mind, it's all by design. You got to get rid of that madness before you're even blessed into the next evolution. So ask your questions, please.
Oh, now I got to ask you this. Can we, from our perspective, you could say we're far less evolved than our higher self, which would be synonymous with what is being called God. Our lower self is so far removed to the point where we can't clearly see our higher self until we reconcile our insecure attachment style. Talk to me.
Well, let's go inward. The very simple thing that allows us to understand what God is within us is the love that not only we have for him, but also the love we have for ourselves. So again, if you're missing the point, the love is already within you. The spirit of the very same God is already within you. You already have an attachment to him, and it's going nowhere.
But how do we discover it if we modeled the lack of love in our early childhood environments? How do we discover divine love, which is synonymous with God itself within ourselves, when we weren't able to model it in our home when we were children?
The paradox is choice.
Keep going. That's why I keep throwing them to you. Keep going.
You choose this day what you're going to do. You choose this day who you're going to serve. You choose this day what your actions are going to be. And you can choose life, or you can choose whatever you think is necessary.
Man, John, guess what you did, man?
Mountain View's in the building. And let me also add this. The giving is also the surrendering. It's necessary.
It's necessary. Brother, you brought Mountain View, Hawaii in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580 when we come forward. Over to Jacksonville, Florida we go.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% APR on all 2024 Silverado 1500, Blazer EV, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Colorado models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment, 17.0%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/31/24.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, tonight's show just flew so fast. Like, I'm blown away. Right? They're saying I should do a part 2 to this thing, because this thing just flew up out of here. We didn't even get to the fearful avoidant attachment style. According to John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth attachment theory, the fearful avoidant person with the fearful avoidant attachment style is somebody who was in an environment with their caregiver where the source of love, which is their primary caregiver, also terrified the child. So typically there is abuse, verbal, physical, emotional, psychological. There's abuse in those situations. So the very source of my love is terrifying for me to go get. So there might be a moment where, oh, in this moment, I got a window. There's some love there. Let me go get the love. But then they go get the love. It's almost like a mouse trap because it can snap and turn terrifying instantly. So the fearful avoidant has two core wounds. They have an avoidant wound. Let me pull away. It's not safe. And then they have the chasing kind of anxious wound. Hey, let me show you. I can prove to you that I'm good. The fearful avoidant, their attachment style. These are some characteristics here. Constant fear. Persistent fear or dread characterizes your relationship with God, making it a prevalent aspect of your spiritual experience. Avoidance. You may actively avoid engaging with God due to an underlying fear of rejection and or punishment. Feelings of unworthiness. Back to the anxious preoccupied. They have both. You frequently experience feelings of unworthiness, guilt, or shame in the context of your relationship with God, which can lead to persistent anxiety and apprehension. Overwhelmed by punishment, there's a profound dread of punishment from God, which leads to ongoing emotional distress and fear of retribution. Difficulty trusting, right? You experience significant difficulty in trusting or feeling secure in your connection with God, leading to persistent feelings of anxiety and fear. Does God have my back? Is he going to be there? This is the fearful avoidant. Extreme sensitivity. You are highly sensitive to perceived threats from God, leading to an ongoing sense of vulnerability and imminent danger. God saw me steal the cheese and crackers, right? Reluctant in seeking comfort. You may feel reluctant to seek comfort or reassurance from God, as persistent fear overshadows the potential for solace. Then there's catastrophizing. Everything is a catastrophe. There's a tendency to catastrophize or magnify perceived threats from God, intensifying fears of feelings and apprehensions. Please know that this is happening in their intimate relationships too. Inhibited spiritual growth. I'm not going to read all of them. Is your insecure attachment style negatively impacting your relationship with God? I got to do a whole nother topic. Let's get Mimi in here. Mimi, Jacksonville, you got to make it quick. We up against it.
Hey, everyone. I just want to say, for me, when I heard this topic, I said, I thought about Job and the many hardships that he went through.
Nobody want to be Job. What are you
But
talking about?
he never cursed God.
No, he
so
didn't.
That's my relationship. Like, no matter what I go through, my trials, my tribulations, family, friends, just life in general, I still go to God. I still pray. I still meditate. I still praise God. That's it.
So your example, one more time, is Job.
That's what I thought about when you first started going into the show, and I said, I couldn't remember exactly how you phrased the topic, but basically your attachment style and your relationship with God, does that make you have a stronger relationship or not a relationship at all? And I don't know what my attachment style is yet.
Let me stop you real quick. I'm sorry, love. Your relationship with God is different than your intimate relationships, isn't it?
Well, I mean, yes and no.
See, because the question is, we give God certain leeway that we would never give our significant other. Why is that?
For me, God is God. God is higher than flesh. God is God and people. And you know what I'm saying? God is God. God is God.
Okay. All right. Say it one more time.
God is God for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a perfect Christian or perfect woman, but God is the source of it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I've been in a dark place with family, friends, and no human being could help me, God brought me out.
So are human beings diet God? Diet source?
They can be.
See, I don't believe that the further away, I don't believe that there is a central government to God. Like, God is in the Washington, D.C. of heaven. But if you are in the Fiji of the globe or of heaven, you that far from Washington, D.C., the distance from Fiji to Washington, D.C., I don't believe that there is a lessening of the intensity of the frequency of God. I believe God is God wherever God is, and that is all of Mimi. But Mimi, I got to get the rest of these callers in here. I love you, Mimi. Jacksonville is in the building because of you now. JW, you got to get in here. What are your thoughts, man?
Hey, my brother, I don't have time to frame my conversation. I'll try to wait until tomorrow, write some things down. But for that first young lady that said she was comfortable with God and not comfortable with her relatives, which sometimes she cursed at God, I just want her to know that I had a situation where I had some words with God because I was about to fall asleep behind the wheel of the tractor trailer, and it was just between me and God, and I gave him a piece of my mind. I wasn't cussing him out, but I was using cuss words, and I seen a white cross, and that woke me up. But anyway, I told another person that story that is a dismissive avoidance, one of my partners, and we're going to this tomorrow, and I'll give some more perspectives and nuances.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Deacon JW from South Central Los Angeles. We had Nikki, and she got time, but then Nikki bounced. Let me just say this. God does not fit into our primitive mind. Our mind is incredible, right? It's incredible. But in comparison to God, it's primitive in terms of trying to conceptualize it, okay? God is beyond comprehension, and oftentimes language uses us to such a degree that we get a misconception of what God is about. Again, God allows you, when I say this, I'm not speaking dogmatically. God allows you to access it regardless of the level of consciousness that you are on. If you could raise up from shame, guilt, apathy, fear, anger, right? If you can raise up consciously from the lowest level of consciousness to a more balanced level of consciousness, say neutrality, right? Say you can transcend pride, right? You get to neutrality. Then beyond neutrality, you start to get into the higher concepts, right? You get into intellectualism, philosophy. Then you transcend that. You start to get into non-dualism. When you can transcend the lower levels of consciousness, the effulgence of God becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. At the lower levels of consciousness, you need more words. At the higher level of consciousness, language loses its meaning. All right. I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper. The voice of reason, always on fire tonight.
I need to talk to you and ask you for your guidance, especially today when my life is so cloudy. Guide me until I'm sure I'm
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.